I'm going to give you a very quick overview of what we are doing and seeing in the 5G and how we also see the value that how we address the value in 5G. So one of the first and important comments, it's about the two type of industries. We have the digital industries that are the software industries, IT industries, and we have the physical industry that are those industries that work with physical assets, so the traditional ones. And when we look into the productivity and the way the productivity is growing in those different type of industries, we see a big difference. We see that the productivity into the growth of productivity in the physical industries is well behind the digital industries. And this is an historical value. So you can see here, for instance, then I don't know if you can read, but you can see like 0.7% the average annual growth in productivity from the physical industries versus around 2.7% annual growth into the digital industries. And why is that? Main reason is digitalization and the investments the digital industries are doing in automation and digitalization. So 5G is the opportunity for the digital world to really be able to control and automate and connect the physical world. And that's how we see a big opportunity into those industries. And when I'm saying industries, I'm talking about all the different vertical segments. And the opportunity can be something around $3 to $11 trillion in the next 5 years. Maybe something more, we don't know. But this is the opportunity we have. And the 5G is bringing this opportunity. So why is different with 5G? And I think you have seen this all over this today, so I'm not going to explain you again, but basically we are seeing the possibility to go into very, very precise control of things and doing that with very low latency. And the second aspect is to have the high bandwidth and combine this with the reach and the mobility, what we can do. So those are the possibilities and the use cases. And here I want to make a comment. Of course, we are already seeing the use cases, right? So we are seeing use cases in the entertainment area, we are seeing use cases in the gaming, the Industry 4.0, but what we need to see about 5G is the platform for innovation. So how we do create new things with 5G. And that's why it's important that the companies, and I am saying operators, network operators, but also the industries, that they look into this as an innovation platform. So how they can reinvent themselves in order to capture that value. So example of the use cases we are seeing all around. So if you see it like that, you can see that there are many, many different use cases being tested and trial and piloted around the world. But you can group them into some categories. One is the entertainment industry, the VR, the AR, the gaming. The other one is around Industry 4.0 and automotive, and the way to improve verticals, specific verticals. And the other one is about bringing connectivity in the fixed wireless access. So these are kind of the categories. When we look at this from as infrastructure and vendor we are thinking, what are the requirements we have for this? As the network we have to build. And one thing we see is that it is not only the radio or only the core, but everything end to end. And that's why we have an architecture that is our Bell Labs architecture, that is Future X. And this architecture is looking into how we are going to serve all these different cases from the cloud, the high bandwidth, and the digital services we are going to be having. And to give you some of the examples, and I like very much to talk about Latin America because I'm based in Latin America, so I will talk about Latin America. We are already seeing some very interesting examples of mining in what it is not 5G, but using mission-critical networks into their mines. So having a private LTE network connecting the things over there, kind of a pre-5G in the way they are using the network. So if we have this application together with an utility that is using it for control the smart meters, and then you think you will need a network that cope that together with serving the end users, you will need a slicing, right? So that's why we come into the need to 5G. And these type of requirements are already there in the market. So we have these type of requirements coming from mining sector, from utility sector, and we are solving this with type of LTE solutions while we wait for 5G. And another example that I believe one of my colleagues already mentioned is what we are doing in the Hamburg port in Germany. And it's very interesting. We are doing 3 use cases there. So the port of Hamburg in Germany is one of the biggest ports in the world. And we are having sensors in the ships, in the boats, in the ships, that are measuring in real time the environment and also the movement. The traffic lights of all the ports are also monitored and controlling the way the containers and the trucks are moving. And there are also kind of applications on 3D for the people that is operating the port, also seeing in real time what is going on. So for this, we have a virtual network and slices. So this is kind of the way we see the things moving. So understanding the vertical, understanding the use case, and having the innovation to really put it in place. So this is, I wanted to comment to you about 5G. Thank you.